Hey everybody, this is Dan with D-Ray Outdoors, and I thought I'd take a little time today. I set up my tarp, my hammock out here in my backyard, and I thought I would just go over that, make a little video and look at my setup and what I use and some conveniences and what have you. But anyway, I thought I'd just take a little time and show you the whole setup. I'll do that today, and then in another video I will take a little time to actually make a video of setting it up, how I set it up and how easy it is. I can set the whole thing up in basically about 5 minutes, which is pretty good. If you're out somewhere and it's a little rainy or something like that and you need to set something up quick, it looks like it takes longer than that. When you see it, you'll think it takes a little longer than that to set it up, but actually it really doesn't. It's real fast. So without any further delay, let's take a look at the setup. The setup right here. This is the Kelty Noah 12 tarp. I love it. If this ever goes bad on me or wears out, I'll get another one. I just love it that much. Lightweight. It's got all kinds of tie outs on it. You can configure this thing in so many different ways. This is more of a stand up. I can conform it to on the ground as well and make it like a tent. I can even have a floor underneath. I'll go over that one day as well and show you the different setups with this tarp. But it's a big tarp. It's 12 by 12. Again, it just gives me all kinds of room, and I'm all about comfort and convenience when I camp. Even if I hike or backpack, this all goes in the backpack, no problem, and still gives me all kinds of room. So let's take a look at it real quick. First of all, let me just talk about the way I have it set up right now. I have it set up as just basically an open shelter. I love it because of course the back can guard me from wind, rain. The top can be lifted up in the daytime. If I want to just sit under the tarp, lay in the hammock, sit in my little stool, what have you, it's perfect. It gives me all kinds. I've got so much room underneath this thing. Like I said, it's about 12 foot across, so I'm not lacking for space, that's for sure. And basically what I do is I just take stakes or branches, you can see right here, and I'll just point out the top, put it right through the tie down up here. It's got grommets up there, you can see that. Then just take some paracord, just tie it on down. And then that holds those branches up. Got one on that side, got one over there on that side as well. So that holds the whole front up, no problem. But to give myself a little more room underneath, I went ahead and took another big branch right here. Of course, I keep a sock or a rag or something up there to protect the tarp, obviously. Don't want to be putting holes in the tarp. So, but that's long enough. That's probably about a 7-foot branch, and what it does is it just lifts that underneath up and gives me plenty of walking room underneath it. I'm not rubbing my head or bumping into anything as far as the tarp goes, so it gives me plenty of space underneath. And I just stand it up in the middle. Plenty of space to walk around. The hammock setup is pretty simple. I just took some old straps and just cut the ends off. Got them at Walmart, what have you. Just cut the ends off, tie me a loop up here, and then I just wrap around the tree, put it through the loop, and then do a real quick little tie down right here. And I just use tent stakes to put through the loop, keeps it from coming out, and then I just take my carabiner and then just snap it over, and then that stake holds everything right in place. That ain't going anywhere. And then it's so easy to untie because all I got to do is take the carabiner off, pull the stake out, pull the strap, snaps right out. So there's no locking anything up to where I can't get it undone or what have you. Same on the other side. And the nice way of doing this right here is putting this little loop in there like that. That's all adjustable. So if my hammock is a little too low or anything, I just come up a little further, put my loop in there, put the stake in there, and so I can adjust this very, very quickly, very easily. Okay, never have any issues of it dropping down or anything like that. Let's take a look at the inside of the hammock. I used to have a bug net on my hammock. I had a different hammock and had a bug net on it, but it broke, and so I just got a different hammock. This one's more of a double. If it says double, it's actually only big enough for a single, but it gives me plenty of room. And what I've done on the inside here, you can see I've got my blow-up mat. This does have some insulation in it. I think it's got like an R value of 4, 3.5 or 4, something like that. So no problems of keeping the air off of me and keeping me warm. The problem is, it went on these tarps and these mats like this, they slide all over the place. So what I do is I take a little, these are like little workout mats. This is more like a rubber. And when I lay that down on the bottom of the hammock, that doesn't slide at all. As a matter of fact, you can't even hardly, I mean, you can pull it, but it grips really, really well. So that doesn't slide on me. Then I just lay the pad on top of it, and then of course that sticks to the rubber, so I don't have to worry about it sliding around on me. Then of course I'll just throw a sleeping bag in there, or a wool blanket, or sometimes nothing at all. It just depends on the temperature outside and what it feels like. Nice thing about this hammock, like I said, it's a double, so it has a lot of space in here that I can just overlap it, basically just overlap it like this, and when I'm laying in it I can actually cover myself up. So I don't necessarily need a bug net. Just double wrap that across me, and it keeps me covered up. So no mosquitoes or gnats or anything else like that really going to bother me too much. Like I said, I'm all about comfort and convenience. I don't like, I like staying as clean as possible. So oftentimes you can see down here I don't have anything on the ground right now underneath the hammock. But what I'll do, you can get those, they're kind of a shelter type tarp that you can get at Walmart. They're cheap, but it's orange on one side, reflective material on the other side, and I will use that, throw that down on the ground underneath my hammock there, and that thing is like I don't know, it's like 6 by 8 or 7 by 8, something like that. So when I just spread it out underneath my hammock on the ground, that's what I use to keep, I can walk on that then, and I'm not walking on the ground. I take my shoes off, I'm not walking on the the dirt and the mud. So when I get in my hammock, I'm clean. I'm not dragging dirt and everything else in the hammock. I hate that. I just don't like getting too grubby. I mean, sometimes you can't help it, but if you can, then those are just some of the luxuries that you like to do to make things just so much nicer when you're camping, and cleaner. And then of course when I get home, if it's dirty or whatever, I can just hose it right off, wipe it off. It's no big deal. The stakes I use to tie down everything are just these, let me get one out here, just these types, it's like aluminum. They're pretty sturdy, very, very lightweight, but pretty sturdy. I mean, they will bend. You can bend them if you try hard enough, but if you treat them right and do the, tie things down correctly and stuff, you're going to be just fine. And like I said, they're lightweight. I just bought a bunch of them and stick them in a little baggie type thing there. And then that's what I use to tie the tarp down in every configuration that I use. And then I also use them for, like I said, up here, just take a couple and I'll put in here to keep that carabiner from pulling through or anything like that. It works really, really well. Another thing that I like to do is get these, I use these, I think they're called Lucy lights. They're just blow up. They're LED solar. So I usually have them on the outside of my backpack. When I deflate them, I'll tie them to the outside of my backpack, or if I'm riding my motorcycle going camping, I'll put them in the outside mesh part of my bag that I keep stuff in, so that way the sunlight can always hit them and keeps them charged up. These things are, I think they're worth their weight in gold. I don't know what other people use. I know I've seen some other people using these, but man, I absolutely love these things. They're so convenient. You let the air out and they shrink down to like pancake size. They're practically nothing to store. You don't have to keep getting batteries. The light lasts, they say it's supposed to last for 12 hours. I've used them quite a bit, and I've never had one run out on me. Of course, you're gonna only use them when it gets dark. But man, you can use them to, for at night around your shelter or your tent, or if you're gonna take a walk somewhere, man, you can just tie it to your belt loop or your backpack or what have you, and just turn it on, and it lights up quite a bit of light actually to get out of these things. And like I said, it's solar power, so you don't got to worry about running out of batteries and carrying a lot of batteries around all the time. I love them. I love them so much that I bought a bunch and I put them in stocking stuffers for my family, and we use them. We keep some around the house. If electricity goes out, we know where they're at. We just go get these, make sure we keep them charged up, and then you always got some light. I got one there. Keep one on the other side here as well. So when I light both of these up at night, it keeps this entire area lit up. Of course, I put a little paracord and stuff on the tie on it, so I can tie them about anywhere I want at night. When I close my tarp up, I'll come up here. This is my ridge line, and I'll just hang them from my ridge line so that they're accessible right here. I only really need one in there because it lights everything up just fine. And I'll turn it on when I close the tarp up at night. Another nice thing about this setup, it's open during the day. I can sit underneath it. You can see right here I've got a little fire pit down in front of it. It's out about a foot or two in front of the end of the tarp. No problems with, I can have a pretty decent sized fire there and still doesn't affect the tarp at all. I don't have to worry about melting the tarp or burning holes through it. I don't use wood that sparks a lot. Try to use hardwood if I can find it, or keep the fire low if I have to use something else, but I don't get too many sparks out of it. Never had an issue of sparks flying up and burning the tarp or anything like that. You just got to keep your fire kind of under control there. I was talking about the tarp setup again, and then in the daytime I leave it open like this, and I've got all kinds of room under there. Never have to worry about rain or getting wet or anything like that. But then at night I can either leave it open like this if I choose to, if the weather's really nice, or if I'm camping all by myself and there's nobody around, I like to leave it open. But if you're at a campsite where there seems to be a lot of people around or what have you, another nice feature about this type of tarp, and it being the size that it is I can take these branches down that are holding it up here. I'll untie this. I'll let these corners down, this corner and the far corner over there. I'll let these corners down, then they can come together. I've got the back side here, and you can see the tarp comes sheltering me down on the back side there, and then this front side will come down. It makes like an A-frame, and I can literally take these tie downs right here on this one and this tie down right up here on this one and tie them together, and I'm actually completely enclosed in here. Nobody can see me. It gives you some privacy. So if I'm camping with other people around and I kind of want some privacy, or just don't want people gawking and all this other stuff, and then I'll tie it down, and I'll give you a look at what that's like here in a little bit. Okay, so now you can see how I've got it folded down. Kind of walk around a little bit here. You can see it. So, you know, when I'm sleeping and stuff like that, I don't, you know, you're going to be in your hammock and stuff. I don't need a lot of room on the inside. So I don't mind closing it down like this. But you can see how, let me pull this open a little bit. I'm 100% enclosed in there. So I'll get in there, I'll tie these together right here, and that'll close that whole thing, just like on this side over here. You can see how it's tied together. So keeps the elements off me. Nothing's gonna bother me in there. I love this. That's the reason I got this size of tarp, was because I wanted to be able to have it open in the daytime like it was, yet at night when I want to go to bed I can close it down, have some privacy, nobody's bothering me. Also, if you get any animals or anything like that coming around your camp, if I've got this tied off and shut down like that, nothing's going to come in there. If I leave it open, you got the chance of something, you know, coon, skunk, whatever, I've seen it happen, can kind of wander in and mess around with or underneath your shelter. But when you got it shut down like this, pretty much chances are nothing's going to come in there. And if anything comes close to me or whatever, I'll just give a shout or whatever, and they run off. No big deal. But I love it. Look at that. 100% covered up. Still lets air flow underneath, you know, so I don't have to worry too much about condensation, because I do leave a little room at the bottom. You can see down there, there's some room there. Let me go to the other side here and show you. You can see there's definitely room underneath the bottom, so I get some airflow, stuff like that. I guess an animal could crawl into there if it wanted to, but like I said, if I hear something walking around out here, I'm just going to give a shout or something like that, and once they know I'm in there, they don't stay, they don't bother. Pretty cool. Love, love, love this tarp. I've never had any problems with it leaking. It's really durable. It's a little heavier than some of the other tarps that I've seen or experienced. Like I said, if something ever happens to this tarp, I'm getting another one. Another nice thing is, man, I've seen tarps that were a lot less than this, a lot smaller than this, cost twice as much. I think I only spent maybe around 70 bucks or so, I think. Look it up. It's Kelty Noah's Tarp 12. I love their stuff. It's not the most expensive, but in my future videos you'll find out that there are people that pay top dollar for all their equipment and stuff like that. I'm not into that. Don't get me wrong. I understand fully that there are some things that you get what you pay for. There's no doubt about that. But I have found that you can get by budget-wise, getting some of your camping stuff, your backpacks, your hiking stuff, you name it, and not have to go broke getting it. All right, the pad I got in there, probably about half the cost of some of the other pads that I've heard about and viewed and read about and does better job. So I do my research, and you know what, truth is, you can get some really good stuff for half the price and get it done. So anyway, that's my setup for right now. On this setup anyway. This is probably one of my favorites with the hammock. I do a lot of some ground sleeping too, and I'll set it up differently for that, and I'll set that up one day and show you. We'll make a video on that too, but that's my setup for the most part, and this is probably my favorite one with this tarp, because it's so big. It just gives you so much room underneath it. When I have it open, man, you can set 8 people underneath there, sit around, talk, have a fire, and plenty of room. Anyway, that's this video. Just wanted to take a little time today. D-Ray Outdoors. If you like the videos, give me a thumbs up, as they say. Like the channel. I've just got it started, so I don't have any subscribers yet. Come and be the first one. Let's get this thing rolling. All right, I've got a lot more videos that are going to be coming along. We're going to do some product reviews and things like that, and like I said, I'm going to show you some things that you can get next to nothing, or at least half the price you can get other stuff, and use it just as well, if not even better. So that's it for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I'll always get back with you, and help me build this channel up a little bit. All right, talk to you real soon.